Do you need help with songwriting? You're just getting started, or you've been writing already but you're facing writer's block? This video is for you, no matter how advanced you are. I'll show you a few easy tricks that I use in my songs so you can go make awesome music today. Hey, how's it going? I'm Thales, pop music producer, and these are some of the main tools that I use every time I need ideas for songs. These are mostly things songwriters do without thinking about it, but I find that it helps to be reminded often, so I actually have this written down in my home studio. And don't worry, no one will know or care that you used any tricks. These techniques are all over the songs in the radio, so people will just appreciate your music. Songwriting tip number 1, be vulnerable and honest. Write about stuff that you've lived, something that you've experienced. You don't have to wait for some magic inspiration or to come up with an incredible idea. You just sit down and tell your story. Try to remember something that happened maybe in your past or it's happening right now, and talk about it with your own words, especially the details and your point of view about that situation. I mean, simple things of everyday life. That's what resonates the most, like getting your driver's license. Actually, Olivia Rodrigo said something on this subject. She said, "People are more alike than you think. We all feel the same things. We just don't talk about it." So if you talk about it and you're not trying to please anyone, just writing to please yourself, then people with similar taste will like it. They're just waiting for your song to reach them and connect with them. Be vulnerable. Songwriting tip number 2, writing and composing shouldn't be hard. Anything that's too hard and you want to do often, that will give you anxiety and you may want to give up. So try to keep songwriting simple and don't make yourself work too hard. I'm guilty of doing this. I make songs with far too much lyrical content and too many instruments going on at the same time, crazy harmonies and whatnot. I think we've all done that at some point as musicians and songwriters. Maybe we want to show off what we know about music, or we just have too many ideas and we kind of dump them into the same song, and it becomes overwhelming and loses focus. So try to write simple songs faster, avoiding perfectionism, and accept that it will not turn out so great every time. But the best way to learn what mistakes to avoid in the future is by making mistakes faster now. Songwriting tip number 3, the hook. Here's what I've learned after doing it for a while. For each song you write, center it around one idea. Not 2 ideas, 1 idea. Come up with 1 motive, 1 hook, repeat it a lot with some variations here and there, and build everything else around it. It's easy to overdo, it's easy to go on a tangent idea and get lost, but if you do that, the listener also gets lost and confused. So keep it simple. You don't have to deliver so much. It's weird, right? But in music, more often than not, less is more. I'll show you an example. At the time I record this video, the number 1 song on Billboard's Hot 100 chart is Heat Waves by Glass Animals. It's been on this list for 59 weeks. Do yourself a favor and pause this video and go listen to that song, then come back for the rest of the tips and tricks. I know you've listened to that song 1,000 times on the radio already, but now listen actively. Listen to the simplicity, which doesn't mean it's shallow. I think it's actually really deep, but it's not overdone. And listen to the amount of repetition. It's so catchy, and the instrumental revolves around the same ideas with just a few tweaks here and there. Notice the contrast between the sections, verse and choruses. That was done masterfully with just a few elements that keep getting dropped, then coming back. Songwriting tip number 4 connects perfectly with this example. It is to start the song with the chorus. Not always, it's not a rule, but maybe try it. This is a trick that I keep hearing lately. They immediately presented that catchy, memorable motive that they're going to repeat over and over again. So the listener is hooked from the start. And if it's interesting enough, you want to listen to the whole thing, right? If you ever come up with some hook that you're like, whoa, this is super catchy. Consider opening the song with that. Hey, I'm about to show you 3 more tips that will absolutely take your songwriting to a higher level, no matter where you are right now. But first, can I ask you a question? What do you want to learn next? Write that in the comment section below and maybe that will be in my next video. Deal? Songwriting tip number 5, link your instrumental ideas to your lyrics. This will help convey whatever emotion relates to your song, and there are many ways of doing that. But I feel like everyone will understand this easily with an example. I've been listening to Olivia Rodrigo a lot recently, and I get goosebumps every time I hear the first verse of her song Deja Vu, right after she says the words laughing about how small it looks on you. Right after that, there's like 1 or 2 whole bars of laughter being used as an instrument. It sounds like they sampled a ha-ha sound and made a cool lick that really paints a picture in my head every time I listen. And it fills a gap in the song while at the same time gives you an extra moment to process that lyrical information. It puts so much emphasis on that phrase. So when writing your songs, question yourself, how can I paint this picture at people's minds? How can I use sounds to make people visualize this idea better? I guarantee that this will take your song to the next level. Songwriting tip number 6, use sensory language. And that has a lot to do with the previous tip. Music is all about emotions, feelings, right? And those emotions are tied to our senses: taste, touch, sight, sound, smell, movement. These are sensory elements that I keep in mind every time I'm writing lyrics. I think I first read about it in a songwriting book by Andrea Stoppi, and it turns out it's really effective. Don't just say things in your songs. Show people what you mean. Let me give you some examples from my songs, then you can think about how to use it in your own. In my latest song, Silence Hurts More, in the verse I talk about some words that I said and they hurt someone. I chose to say I'm a stampede of pounding words. So I'm using touch to convey pain. Later on the song, I use the same device and I refer to those words that hurt someone as a bee sting in your ear. I'm sure that must hurt a lot. So again, using the sense of touch to convey the pain that was caused by words. I don't know about you, but a word has never touched my skin like a bee sting. But you know, metaphors, they work. Then on that song, I move on to talking about silence on the chorus. And I say, silence is this wall that hides what's true. So now it's more of a sight thing. Can you imagine silence as being a wall and the truth is behind it, but you can't see it. You can only see the wall, the silence. Wait a minute, you can't see silence? Yes, you can in my song, where silence is a wall. Songwriters do that all the time. You should try. And songwriting tip number 7 is contrast. I use contrast in every single step of my music making process. I feel like if a song doesn't have enough forward motion, it becomes boring quick. I'm very easily bored. Maybe that resonates with you. So the best way to create forward motion in songs is creating contrast between what's happening now, harmonically, rhythmically, melody-wise, and what's going to happen next. Before I even start harmonizing and arranging my songs, I determine how contrasting each section will look like overall. Here's what I mean by that. I ask myself, what's going to be the pitch range of the melody in the verse? Am I going to sing it in a lower register of my voice? What about the chorus? Higher register, more uncomfortable to sing. I make sure those sections are contrasting. What about rhythm? Is it going to be straight or syncopated in the verse? Then change in the chorus. The articulation of the instruments, the texture, is it going to be busier with lots of instruments, very polyphonic, then change to a more sparse arrangement with less sounds moving independently? Is the harmony going to be more dissonant in the verse and more consonant in the chorus? Am I going to have more harmonies in the back vocals during the bridge to sound different from the rest of the song? Longer phrases or short phrases with lots of rests? All these things can create contrast. there are hundreds of ways to save a song from getting boring. As a bonus tip, don't forget to listen to lots of music to find inspiration and references. And when you're listening, don't just be a listener, be a songwriter at work. Listening is part of our job. I have a video that I'm pretty sure you want to see also. If you like this video, you probably want to learn how to turn any idea into a full song, right? That's exactly what you're gonna learn. I'm going to make it pop on your screen in just a second, so make sure to click it. Sound good? Hey, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you learned something useful today. Or else, how are you gonna learn more on the next video? And click the bell to turn the notifications on because I want to see you again. That'll be awesome, right? Well, then go watch this next video so you can make some great songs. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Thales, and I'll see you on the next one.